This is just Empire State of Mind, something I like to listen to, but I'm going to pause it. Maybe someday. Anyway, I want to read some more of Jesus, Jamie, and the Journey. Welcome. 1 Corinthians 2, 3 through 5. And I was with you in weakness and in fear and in much trembling. And my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words or man's wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of power, that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of God. It is by the power of God that I live today. It is the Lord's power that keeps me from doing drugs, from cussing, from sex without the benefit of marriage. It helps me to understand you and even myself. It keeps me on the straight and narrow path of righteousness. The power of God is shown throughout this book. It was by the power of God we have the Word of God today to guide, to teach, to correct, and to help us to know the truth instead of a lie. It is by the power of God that I live, move, and have my being today. It was the power of God that I felt the night everything changed within me. It was the power of God that gave me the strength to make it back to the land of the living after spending so much time in the land of the dead. I have more experiences that I would like to share with you concerning the power of God in my life and the first 5 months of my calling being answered. I was at the club that I danced at one day, and I felt a motivation in my spirit to leave the place, but I didn't know why. I didn't know where I should go or what I should do, so I was just going to go home, spend time in the Word, and pray for the answer. As I was leaving the club without any permission, I just told the bartender to let the boss know that I was going to leave. I didn't get questioned or fired, which I wished I would have. I was walking down Flamingo Road in Las Vegas, and as I got close to the street that I needed to turn to go home on, I saw that there were 3 men surrounding this car at the intersection. I perceived in my spirit that I should go over there. When I got there, they parted and let me through while asking me if she would be all right. There was a woman in the seat with her head lolled to one side with drool coming out of her mouth from some sort of seizure. They kept asking me if she would be all right, and I asked myself, what do they think I am, a doctor? I knew that I was supposed to lay hands on the lady, so I walked over to her side of the car and asked her if I could touch her. I have learned the hard way not to lay hands on anybody without their permission. I put one hand on her forehead and one hand on the back of her head, and I started to pray, but not out loud. The men just kind of stood there and watched me. I don't know if they knew what was going on, and it didn't matter if they did or not. When I felt the spirit of bondage leave her, I stepped back. She turned and looked at me, and the look in her eyes had me stumbling backwards with a jolt to my stomach, because I never knew what things meant in people's eyes. By the time I got done praying for her, the ambulance showed up. As I was walking away, the woman was in her right mind and asking the ambulance what they were doing there. No one stopped and asked me what I did. That was the power of God. When I was on the road hitchhiking through El Paso, Texas, I walked into a petrol truck stop and sat down. And then we'll come back to the next half.